with my dear friend Jessica Bellofatto with JB Yoga. How's it going?
It's great. How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
All things considered.
I was going to say the same thing. All things considered, I'm doing great. Look, it's kind of dreary out and somewhat sunny on the East End, but I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Jessica, I would love to share with my viewers who you are. I mean, I know you do yoga. I know you're a huge advocate for wellness and actually holistic healthcare, right?
Hmm.
So I would love for the viewers to learn a little bit more about your journey.
Okay. So I'm turning 47 this month, and
You look
I
great.
have, thank
Whoa.
you.
Are you serious?
It's the oils and the yoga. Yeah, I'm turning 47 on May 29th.
Wow.
So I'm a mom of three kids. I have a college age son, a ninth grader, and a 6-year-old. And I've been practicing and teaching yoga primarily for that's sort of the main thing I've always done since my college years. I started practicing yoga in college. So I've been teaching for 26 years, full time. And about 10 years ago, I added stand-up paddleboarding to that as another offering because I love being on the water and I grew up on the beach and grew up in the ocean and love surfing. And so I started teaching stand-up paddleboarding and also stand-up paddleboard yoga, which I am considered a pioneer in the Northeast.
That's awesome.
so so I teach a lot of yoga retreats, and in the summertime obviously we have all of this beautiful water around us, so we do tons of sunset paddles and full moon paddles. And I teach a kids camp, which is mostly for girls. I've added a couple of co-ed weeks, but I like to call it a girls empowerment camp. So it's yoga, stand-up paddleboarding, water safety and rescue. We pull the oils into that as well. So and then in addition to the yoga and the paddleboarding, I am a certified aromatherapist.
Wow.
So I've been working with essential oils for also really my entire adult life. They kind of go hand in hand with yoga, but I started diving a bit deeper about 5 years ago. So I sell doTERRA essential oils. I educate on the oils, and I'm a doula, help women give
Are you
birth.
a postpartum doula or pre like
No, a labor doula,
labor? Okay.
birth doula. Yep. I
Oh,
love birth, all things birth. Um, and I think that's about it. I do a
well,
few other things as well, but
now, okay. So I didn't know you were a doula. That's amazing.
yeah,
I have to connect you with one of my really dear friends on that. She has a huge birth network, so it'll be good for you two to connect.
yeah,
So she can send people your way that's up here.
uh-huh.
That's awesome. So tell me, we're calling it the grace period. During this grace period, what have you noticed because you are in that wellness realm? What have you been doing to calm things down for your community members, your clients, family? Like, what have you been doing?
Yeah. So I've been teaching. One of the first things I thought to offer, obviously, was virtual yoga. And literally, I think I started on March 15th. And I just sort of threw, a bunch of classes up on the calendar, sent out an email and said, okay, Zoom yoga. A lot of people, I think, took a little bit more time to pivot into the Zoom reality if you're not used to using it. And I use it for my doTERRA business. So I was like, oh, Zoom yoga, great. Like, let's just, do it. So we did that. And that's been, especially in the first 2 weeks, I hadn't actually been teaching that many public classes because I did own a brick and mortar studio out here for 18 years, which I closed like 2 years ago. So my winter months are more focused on my doTERRA business and less focused on teaching yoga. So for me, it was actually a really incredible way to reconnect and to reestablish my yoga community. And all of the people that came to those Zoom classes were old students from the studio. So that was really, really nice and like really sentimental. And the first 2 weeks, like every time I taught class, we were all crying.
Gosh.
So that was pretty awesome. Um, and then the other thing that I enhanced and sort of dove into that much more was the essential oil education, because and in fact March was my highest volume month in the 3 years that I've been doing my doTERRA business, because everyone was looking for ways to support their immune system. And the oils are huge for that and so helpful.
And
And,
how
and
is that? Like, how is the oils so
so
different?
many oils have antiviral properties, antibacterial properties. They kill germs, they kill viruses. These are things that in the world of essential oils, you have to be mindful of. In fact, I can't post anything like on social media that says this oil can kill the coronavirus or the
Yeah,
flu or, whatever. You can't use the word cure. You can't say it heals. You can't even say things like peppermint oil is good for headaches, or frankincense oil is can help with anxiety. I can't use the word anxiety. I can't use the word depression. I can't use the word head. So I can say peppermint oil might ease head tension,
yeah,
or neroli oil, which is one of my favorites, might could help anxious feelings, but you can't say anxiety. So you have to be FDA compliant.
yeah,
But in the world of oils, most people know that essential oils are plant medicine, and they are, Mother Nature has basically provided us with everything we need to take care of our bodies. The definition of aromatherapy is the therapeutic application of genuine and authentic plant-derived essential oils to enhance the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being of a person. So most people think of oils more for emotional support, but a lot of people know, oh, plants have medicinal properties. And if they don't want to be, getting the flu shot or taking the antibiotics, and there are other ways to support the body. People are sort of waking up to that a lot, I think, especially now they're sort of questioning, like, what are the alternatives?
yeah. And do you feel like, because the way I look at it, because you said plant-based, and I'm thinking like many years ago, like many decades ago or centuries ago, that's what we used. It
Yeah,
was,
exactly.
we didn't really, have like this pharmaceuticals
Right.
like 200-300 years or 500 years ago, 600 years ago, whatever
Yeah.
the centuries are. It was all plant-based.
Yep.
So do you feel like that is coming back into the swing of things? Like we are rebirthing this move. It's like a mini movement of getting back to basics. Do you feel like that's happening now?
I hope so. And even like that word aromatherapy is fairly new. Like it was not coined until like the mid 1940s.
Okay.
So it's not, but as you said, people have been using plants as medicine since the beginning of time. Um, Aromatherapy is also said to be the fastest growing alternative healthcare modality in the world. And doTERRA, for example, is a company that is 12 years old, independently owned, and they're over $1 billion in sales in 12 years, $1 billion a year. They grew faster than Apple, and there are
Wow.
9.5 million customers globally that have oils. So that speaks to, like, when I think 9.5 million people are using essential oils in some form or another, I'm like, people are waking up to that. And yes, I think we're going to swing back in the direction of less reliance on pharmaceuticals and Western medicine, and more of this integration of natural and holistic and alternative things, and finding the balance as well.
Now tell me, so I like Stacey's finding that balance. What is the balance of having it? So just say in the morning, I want to use lavender while I'm taking it. You told me to do that. Why don't you sprinkle lavender when you're taking the shower? I'm like, okay. So starting off your day with that would be great. It's like a mini spa time for yourself. But also, what are other ways that we can use these oils? I know you have a lot of them, but what is a great balance? Because you don't ever want to overuse it. So what's a good balance for us to use with the oils?
Yeah, and that's the fact that you just said that you don't want to overuse it is really great, because they are potent and they are powerful and they are concentrated. So oils are 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. So it's said that literally 1 drop of peppermint oil is equivalent to drinking 28 cups of peppermint tea. So a little goes a long way. Very, very strong, very concentrated, very potent. also speaks to the fact that then that means they are very inexpensive. So some people think of oils as, oh, they're too expensive, I don't want to buy, this costs, this bottle of lavender costs, $20, but there's 280 drops in the bottle, and you only might need a couple of drops for whatever you're trying to do, whether it's calming the skin. Lavender is all things calming. So whether you have a sunburn, or you got an insect bite, mosquito bite, or a friend of mine got burned by her coffee pot like 2 years ago. She was a total naysayer. And her friend, she didn't come to me, but a friend of hers said, lavender oil can help for that burn. So she called me up and stopped by and picked up a bottle, and called me a couple hours later from work and was like, I can't believe how well that's working. So I always say, like, use them, especially if you're trying to like bridge the gap, or you're trying to like shift from, if you take Advil for a headache, why not try frankincense and peppermint first? You could still have the Advil in the house, but maybe, I don't have Advil in my house. Like, I only use these
Oils.
This stuff. And I've been doing that for many, many years. We don't have like I'm a little rogue in some ways, but like people are like, well, who's your primary care physician? I'm like, we don't have one. We have a holistic doctor who lives an hour and a half away, and that's who we use. When maybe we see him once a year, so I'm not like running my kids to the doctor every time, they have an earache or anything like that. So, but there are simple ways to like start to incorporate the oils, and then perhaps use them as a first line of defense as you learn, as opposed to just going straight for the Tylenol or the Advil or the, over the counter, whatever.
And it's best for your body. And I feel like it's a mental state too. It's like, whatever you're putting in, we're helping our brain. Exactly. So it's not like we're consuming it. We're breathing it in.
Right. Yeah. And the oils, you use them like aromatically is one way, right? So that's like in your diffuser, or on the walls of your shower, or in the, even like putting them in your hands, and like this for respiratory support. Right now, people are doing a lot with a steam inhalation type of thing, and we're dealing with a respiratory disease, a respiratory illness. So things like, oils like peppermint and eucalyptus, and doTERRA makes a blend called Breathe, which is specifically their respiratory blend. And you can boil some water, put a couple of, just like 2 drops, they're very strong, and like do the towel over your head and do a steam inhale. Now that's not only going to support your respiratory system, but it's going to support, like you said, your mind and your emotions, because that is how the oils work. The emotional brain, the limbic brain, is affected by the aroma of the oils. So that's aromatic. You topically, you put them on your skin, sore muscles, injury, even things like abdominal pain, digestive support. You can rub digestive oils right on your belly, and then you can also take them internally. So for example, there's a blend called On Guard, which is the immune blend, and you can take it in 1 or 2 drops in a spoonful of honey, stir it into some hot water, you make yourself a tea. And that's what I did for the first month after this whole thing. Now I haven't been doing it as often. But when I was first very concerned in the first month, I was doing that just throughout the day, just drinking that hot water with the On Guard, with the On Guard oil in there. With some raw local honey, and it's good stuff. And in addition to taking extra zinc and vitamin C and all, quercetin and all the other supplements that I was like incorporating. I mean, I'm taking like 20 supplements a day right now.
We have to.
But I feel really healthy, and I feel like I'm doing for my body what I need to be doing right now. So
what I love too, Jessica, is that you're incorporating everything that you love into your business. So it's not, the way I look at it, it's your lifestyle.
Yes.
So your business is your lifestyle. You love yoga. You love helping people. You love teaching people. So you're a yoga teacher.
Yeah.
As well as, you're leading these. I didn't know about your kids camp program. I think that's amazing that you're empowering young girls, especially going out in the water and learning about water safety. That's amazing. And then on top of that, it's just having, the oils, and you're teaching people and you're helping them. So do you typically, because I notice on Facebook you do a lot of every time you go live, I have to go back and watch it because I'm like, oh, I can't go on right now. But what I love is that you're teaching everyone like what's going on, and you always have a topic point of guidance. And that's what I love about you, is that you're all about teaching at the end of the day.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm just basically I feel like I don't have a choice, and I also
Yeah.
feel like we teach what we ourselves need to hear and what
Hmm.
we need to learn. And I've said this for years with the yoga that thank God I'm a yoga teacher and I have no choice but to teach yoga, because sometimes we know what we need to do, or we know what would be good for us, but we resist it, all right, and we just don't do it. So like the fact that I was always forced to sort of stay in my yoga as a teacher and as a practitioner has helped me through losing a parent, a divorce, losing a business, 3 pregnancies, injuries, like just it's been just the constant driving force behind my life that has always I just always go back to it. It's like it's a total sanctuary. So that's what I want to convey to people. Like that's what I teach. Like here it is. Like this practice. It's like a gift.
Yeah.
And why would you not try it? It's so
Yeah.
good.
And I think I tell people all the time, like yoga, because I'm still in the beginning stages of yoga.
Yeah.
Yoga does soothe the soul, it really does soothe you.
Yeah. Yeah. You cut out on me a tiny bit, Tia. There you are. Okay, there you are.
Oh yeah. I was saying yoga does soothe the soul.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's so much more. The physical is such a small part of it, for sure. Yeah.
And what do you feel like yoga wise? Um, to say someone's starting to get into it and they want to clear their mind, what which type of yoga do you think that they should dive into?
I think it depends on people's personalities and a little bit like obviously their physical fitness level, athleticism, whatever. I think it honestly, it really doesn't matter, but not to, a lot of people I think try one class or one style or one teacher and they're like, that's not for me. I've had so many people say that to me and I'm like, well, you've never taken my class. But whether it's restorative yoga or yin yoga or kundalini yoga or just a strong ashtanga or power-based, vinyasa yoga, I think, and I think that different things work at different times. And I think, as with anything, there's a balance that a lot of people resist restorative yoga, which is incredibly healing, where you're like laying over props and you're in like one pose for 15 minutes with like an eye pillow on your eyes. That for me as a very sort of active individual, I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'll just stick to my like vinyasa, strong athletic yoga. And when I allowed myself to do the restorative practice, it opened up a whole other level, like sort of uncovered a whole other level of like healing work that needed to be done in my body that could only be accessed by staying still. you know, if we have a busy mind, like we say, like for meditation as well, it's like I can't sit still. My mind is too busy. It's like, whose mind is not busy?
Yeah.
We all have busy minds. The function of the mind is to think, right? Whatever, if you're a more relaxed person or you're a more type A person, everybody's mind I'll just is going a mile a minute. So with that being said, I think just to explore and find something will click. For me, it clicked right away, but for other people, it does take an exploration of like, let me try that style. Let's try that style. Let's try that style. Let's try different teachers and see who you connect with and resonate with as well. That's super important.
Mhm. I love that you said personality. So can you break that down? Because you said it's based off personality. So if someone is like an introvert and very to themselves, like what do you think that would be a good yoga practice for them, for someone that's extroverted or someone that's, yeah, like introvert versus extrovert? Like what yoga practices do you think would be best for
Yeah,
them?
I don't, for introvert, extrovert, I won't necessarily like, I think in terms of, obviously right now everything's virtual, but I think an introvert, for example, might not be as comfortable going into a studio where there's 40 people in the room and mat to mat to mat, and they just feel like, that like they just need more space and more quiet and more, more of a boundary around them. So maybe private yoga, or maybe just choosing classes that are much smaller, and quieter in general, where the teacher doesn't have this sort of big dynamic personality. I mean, that is going to sort of bombard the introverted person, and I think perhaps the extrovert might like love that energy of, I mean, back in the day, like when we, in New York City, when I was studying at Jivamukti Yoga, it was like, it's a social scene. And it was also like, kind of, you felt like you were going clubbing. Like, it was like, you had the yoga outfit on and the music and like, like it was just a thing. Like, it was like, so, and it was fun. Like there was a lot of energy to that, for a more extroverted individual. I consider myself an extroverted introvert, I think, actually.
Yeah, I could see that.
What are you?
I feel, I mean, I love being alone at times so I can get my mind,
Yeah.
body, soul together and just write, but I love being around people too.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
So I feel like I'm a huge introvert, but there's times where I can be an introvert. Like I would be invited to go somewhere. I'm like, you know what? My energy's not there to go today. I just want to be by myself.
Totally.
And
Totally.
that's just me checking in. Like, do I want to go? No, because then I won't really be present. So I'd
Right.
rather be present with people than just saying, you know what? Let me just go and just say hey, and they're gonna be like, what's wrong with that girl? I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give people like my whole, like 100% of who I am.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I could say I'm the same,
Yeah.
definitely the same. But how could everyone find you? Like digitally, different spaces, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
I have to work on my YouTube channel. You might have to help me with that.
Yeah, I think you should get a YouTube
I
channel.
have two because accidentally, and then I don't know how to combine them, and I need help with that, Tia.
Okay.
But I'm very active on Instagram and Facebook. My name, Jessica Bellofatto /JB Yoga. I think if you actually also just look up JB Yoga on Instagram, it might come up. My website is jbyoga.com, and that has everything on there: retreats, water-based stuff in the Hamptons, essential oils, education. You can even request essential oil samples on there, and then we sort of hop on a call and do it's a free consult for that. Hopefully I have a little mini retreat in Montauk in June. If that happens, I'm praying that it does. We just do like 2 nights at Soleil East, and we do yoga, oils, stand-up paddleboarding, meditation. It's really fun. I've been doing that like 4 or 5 years actually probably maybe more, 5, 6 years in a row. So it's a little welcome summer goddess women only retreat.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
You definitely have to share because we'll share it on our end.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, that's I really love that. It's really
it's fun.
great. And then I was thinking too, so this summer, like just say that goes well, everything's great. You're gonna have your kids camp later on this summer too. So any parents out there, if you're looking to see what to do out east, especially outside, she's outside, I think you would be a great option. You're teaching the girls how like do water safety and empowering.
Yeah. So the kids camps start running usually at the end of June. They're just like 4-day, Monday through Thursday. They run for 4 hours, although I might make them longer this year. It's really the camp climate. I have no idea where people's heads are at right now. The different thing about my camp as opposed to some of the larger camps is it's tiny. It averages 5 to 10 kids max. On any given week, and it's all outdoors. So in terms of like social distancing or whatever, we might, and if I have to make them like 5 kids each or so, so I'm sort of trying to wrap my head around what that may or may not look like. I know some sleepaway camps might not happen at all. So it's just a total unknown right now. But as of right now, camps are up and running, and yeah.
I think that's going to be great. And I love how you are able to just create something still to help the families out here. especially with the girls, because I know right now a lot of the teens and young girls, they don't know how to deal with this, you know?
Yeah.
So what you're doing for them, even if you do something virtually for the kids, for them just to see you and you guiding them, that will help
Hmm.
them a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just an opportunity, like, there's the yoga, the oils, but as we spoke before we went live, like the nature piece for me is huge. It's also the oils, like I feel like this is your connection to nature when you can't necessarily be in nature.
Yeah.
Right, so this is like your quarantine, but not, I mean, you can use them all day long and every time of year and whatever, but I always tell people, get outside, get outside, get outside, get outside, like get on the water, get in the trails, go for a run, go for a walk, so that my girls camp, especially for girls that live in the city, um,
Yeah.
they're urban dwellers, and they come out here in the summertime, like I'm like, take your shoes off, like I just get them like as immersed in nature and kind of like rough them up a little bit as well. To not be afraid, because a lot of them in the bay are like, are there sharks in this bay? Are there jellyfish in this bay? I'm like, there might be a jellyfish in the bay, but we're still going in the water.
I would not be your ideal girl. I'll sit right back with
Tell
yoga.
me about it. It's real. So it's
It's
really like
empowering.
allaying their fears, and sort of pulling that more adventurous spirit out of them that,
Wow.
might have just been a little bit squashed because of their environment or their upbringing or whatever. Like girls are not allowed to be as dirty as boys, or whatever. And like I'm just like, no, like, no, that's not
Not
how we
the rule.
operate. Totally.
I love that. If I were there, I'd be like, you know what? Can I just sit here and do yoga with you in the sand?
Exactly.
You guys out there.
The sandier the better.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm really excited that you were able to take time today and share with our viewers of how to rise into wellness with you, whether it's yoga or, they can do essential oils with you. I feel like you're a great community member here out east, Jessica. And now learning that you're a doula, I mean, that's full circle.
I'm a sort of semi-retired doula, only
Okay.
because it's a lot. Like when I was doing a lot of births about 8 or so years ago, obviously I have to be very careful when I take on births. In the winter, I'm often teaching a lot of retreats, and in the summer, I'm teaching, 7 days a week,
Yeah.
usually. So it's tricky to like be on call in that way. And then I've spent 27 hours at a birth, like overnight in a hospital, like, so it really, like, it kind of puts you out of commission for, it's a labor of love for sure, attending births.
That. And it just comes
I
full
like to
circle with
take on just like a few here and there. Yeah.
that. Well, I'm definitely introducing you to my friend Tiana. I think you guys would hit it
Okay.
off on that.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
Is
that's
she out? She's out east?
no, she's down south, but she has a huge birth network.
Oh, awesome.
So that's why I'm like, I think that you guys would really hit it off because there's people all over the world that's on her in her network.
Oh,
So you
nice.
never know, like who may be out here that's on a network that's looking for someone, and then you could be that point of
Yeah.
contact.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I think that'd be great.
All right. Cool.
Well, thank you so much, Jessica. Thank
Thank
you everyone for
you.
tuning in, and please check out her social media channels and if anything with oils, because I'm telling you, that's going to be our new normal is the essential oils and actually going back to basics with that and having your own mini spa day at home with these oils.
Exactly.
So make sure you guys check out jbyoga.com, right? Is it
Yes.
jbyoga.com?
Yep.
jbyoga.com, and we'll have that too right below so you're able to see that. And make sure you like her on our social media channels. So until then, everyone, make sure you stay safe and savor every single moment. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.